What's up and good morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to get started on the 4-link kit for the dually. So for today I don't know exactly how far we're going to get, but basically we're going to start disassembling, take the sway bar off, take all the brake lines and everything off, and then start torching off the brackets. Once we figure out our angle of what we want it to be pretty much, we're going to maybe weld the axle trusses on. We'll see how far we get today, but basically we're gonna start taking that down, and then somewhere over there is the orange truck. Somewhere we gotta move it over to its final resting home on that side of the shop, and then we're gonna pull the front axle off. Pull the front axle off, start chopping that one up, get everything ready for these axle trusses and everything so we can start welding all this good stuff on. I did order the coilovers for it. They are about 6 weeks out, they said, because the kind I got. So it is what it is. We're gonna have to wait for those, but at least we can start getting this truck ready and chopped up and pretty much get everything ordered. And then we need to order the DOM tube and the Heim joints, and that should be everything for the suspension, so we can get this truck pretty much set up and on its own weight, so that way we can start working on the rest of it. We gotta take the steering box off the other truck, but I'd like to at least get the steering in it too. That way we can roll it around and then start working on the motor and transmission after that. So we're gonna get started taking all this stuff off. Austin's gonna help me today. We're gonna start torching, and then yeah, should be a pretty fun and exciting day to get this build started. So we gotta start making some money moves on it, you know? Alrighty, so just like that, we got the sway bar off, the brake lines, the breather line, all this kind of junk right here. So now pretty much at this point, we drained the fluid too out of here. We're gonna torch these both off, the spring perches and the bump stop and the shock mounts, because we're not gonna be using those. So we're gonna get them off both sides. Grind this axle clean. We're gonna clean up right here and weld the tubes in. And then, yeah, it should be good. After that, maybe later, we'll set the angle and maybe weld on the cross member, the axle truss. So pretty much just gonna torch now and kind of get this thing prepped and ready and cleaned up, and maybe start welding a little bit today. So when you weld cast, you want to preheat it a little bit, and then you also want to heat wrap it after, like with a heat blanket, so that way the heat stays in it, doesn't cool off too quick. So make sure you don't burn it too hot and then let it cool off too quick, because you will crack the cast axle. So yeah, probably for most of this stuff gonna be MIG welded, just because it's easier, it's just as strong and works just as good. So time to start chopping. Alrighty, so we left off chopping all these things off. Started grinding yesterday. We're just gonna keep grinding this whole thing out. Pretty much get all these cut off pieces off all around, get the axle clean. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do the truss till tomorrow or whenever Eric's done cutting wood, because I messed up and I made them wrong, so yeah. But it's all R&D, so these are a little bit too short. We might see if they work, but I don't think they will. Alrighty guys, so we got this one pretty much ground clean, all the brackets off. We were just cleaning everything up. So now we are gonna begin, sorry the sun's probably right in your eyes. So now we got the orange truck rigged up because we're stealing the axle. And I already started pulling the coilovers off, so I'm gonna disconnect the trailing arms and the steering and the drag link or whatever, and basically just roll this axle out, hopefully with no issues, and then start cutting and cleaning this one up. But yeah, that's what we're working on now. So coilovers are out. Just gonna keep unbolting this one. Alrighty, so we got the solid axle swap axle from the orange truck over here, and we started chopping everything off. We're gonna take the bars off and cut those last 2 plates off, and then start grinding this one to make it look like that, and pretty much start fresh all over again. So gonna be doing some torching, unbolting, and then yeah, should have these off and ready to go here soon. Just keep cutting. Sun's going down, but we'll see how much work we can get done tonight. Maybe get this axle truss mocked up and all that good stuff. So should be pretty straightforward. So after about 3.5 days of grinding, I'll say, and a lot of grinding wheels and other stuff, and a 7-inch grinder, we got the front axle pretty much done up, and I'm about to show you the first touch. Now, we did finish the rear axle too. Our cross member didn't fit, so I can't really show you that yet. But without further ado, this is the front Dana 60. And bam, look at that. Not a perfect fit yet. We gotta adjust some things, but it's on and looking pretty good. So, by no means professional, but not too bad for our first go at it. Measurements came out pretty good. We gotta grind some things down just to make it fit a little bit tighter and everything, and kind of figure out our angle and all that stuff, but it does fit. It is gonna work. I'm pretty excited for it. So we're gonna start getting this thing prepped and ready to go on the truck. Along with that one, we just need to make the I don't know where they went. Hi, Austin. So for the rear cross member axle truss, whatever you want to call it, we just need to drop these down a little bit. So we're just going to bring this line down just a little bit, continue it out, and recut them. They are just a little bit too short. So I'll live and learn, but check the Duramax grills, Resurrected MFG if you haven't got one yet. Pop that. And here's a custom Power Stroke one that we made. So I'll go clean this one up and get it out to powder. So we moved both the axles. As you can still see, we got the cross member sitting on here. That's gonna be pretty much a wrap for today's video. Probably a little bit shorter than normal. I am back in school now, officially starting today. So school has started back up. We're gonna have to go to that. So it's gonna take a little bit of our time. So we can't work too late on this. But we're kind of getting everything set up, ready to go. Next we need to set angles and figure all that out and start welding this together. So we have some metal, all the heim joints coming, pretty much everything ready to go. So hopefully here this week you guys will see more of this whole build unfold. That way we can get these axles done, get the truck done, get it in the shop, and start setting all the suspension and everything. So the coilovers themselves are on like a 6-week out wait, which we're probably at about 5 weeks now, so hopefully they come in a little bit sooner. I'll explain why and the difference that I got and why I did it and all that stuff, but we still have a lot of work that we can do on this. So we're gonna get after it. That's gonna do it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a thumbs up. If you're excited for the build, smash the thumbs up button. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, turn on bell notifications, and stay tuned for more giveaway information in a later video. I know I said we'll be posting it soon, but videos are kind of intermingled at the same time. So that's gonna do it, guys. I'm out of here. Later.